Hi, everybody. My name's Andrea LaPlante. I'm so excited to be here with Cyndee and her Aunt Carol and her dad. And they're in a farm in Montana that Cyndee grew up on. I'm a national marketing director with the Juice Plus company. I'm a certified health coach. I'm a mom and I'm an equestrian, and my daughters grew up on a farm. So we're very, very tuned into the earth and how much work it takes and I can't even imagine. I only know what we do in our own little part, but I can't even imagine the work, the effort, your lifetime that you've spent growing, farming, cultivating, taking care of, getting food on shelves for people to eat. And I know that there have been a lot of changes that have gone on in the world, and we just want to come to you because you are the reason why we eat. And sometimes I think people forget where it all comes from and how it gets to us. So Cyndee, I'm going to share it, just send it over to you so you can introduce your family and just share some of the changes that have been going on in the world.
Thank you, Andrea. So yeah, I'm here in Eastern Montana on my parents' farm, and I'm with my Aunt Carol and my dad, Larry Heimbuck, and I'm very proud and honored to be here and share information so that people can understand where their food is coming from and what it takes and where we're going, sadly, right now, what we're seeing in the future. So I grew up here. I've been on this farm, learned how to drive a tractor at a very young age. And, you're put to work when you're a warm body. So I grew up doing all the things that, any girl or boy would do on a farm. And I'm very proud of that. But I do notice when I come back, things are shifting. And so my dad and my aunt both grew up just 5 miles from here on their farm that their dad and mom had. And so I thought I would have them share a little bit. So I would love to know from you, Aunt Carol, what do you do on a daily basis? I know it changes, but talk a little bit about harvest and the driving.
Well, usually for harvest, we have our other brother that stays with us, get up early in the morning, and I fix 3 lunches. And we have other drivers and a big breakfast, and I usually throw a load of clothes in the washer and get that hung out on the wash line. And I drive truck or run a tractor all day long, and you come in probably, what'd you say, Larry, 12, 14 hours later, and you unload lunch buckets and you make a decent supper for these guys and probably wash another load of clothes.
And then start all over the next day.
Start all over the next day.
And Dad, what would you say what are some of the issues with farming today that is, causing farmers to really not be able to farm much anymore? What are their struggles?
Well, the thing about it is the cost of repairs and getting them if you need them. And we have to be really careful. Carol went ahead and got some tires because they were some that she found because we can't get them.
So it's supply chain.
It's a supply thing and another thing. And then the thing about it is, like, we raise sugar beets and that's no longer viable for us. It's not costly. We can't do it.
So you guys didn't end up with a good contract from the company.
No.
Terrible.
It wasn't cost effective from the sugar company. They wanted to take more money away from us per ton. And like for us, round trip, it would be 70 miles round trip to get those beets to the receiving station. And it just wasn't cost effective with that and having money taken away from us and the cost of fuel and repairs and everything. So we aren't raising sugar beets this year. We put it all into corn, into wheat, and we're hoping we do the right thing.
And yeah, these are just some of the stories. And I would love to talk a little bit about what's happened with Ukraine. And, what is it you typically would get from Ukraine that you need?
Well, fertilizer,
Seed.
And the thing about it is, the people there, our leaders that were from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
That goes way back. So sorry about that. But Uh, it's not very viable. I don't know if we don't make some changes, you won't know have any more food.
No,
It's just, just like Carroll now, they feed cattle, so do we feed cattle. I'm surprised all the money it costs to run by cattle and feed them and take care of them and breed them. And it's not a, this goes on all day, all night. You're calving cows and stuff like that. It's a lot of work.
And how about retirement? Do farmers retire?
no, they don't. No, they don't.
Huh.
At least
They're just
not at our
tired.
house. They're just tired all the time.
My dad turns 86 tomorrow. This is his baby sister. She's 71 years young, and you drive a semi truck and you're out working all the time, like
Whatever,
summer, winter, fall, spring, every season. There's never a break. Yeah, what do you think is going to happen, say, come fall with the food? We've already noticed food increase, the prices.
Mhm.
Do you see any of that coming down?
No, I don't. I think the prices, whatever it is right now, is going to stay there. I would say that if you're going to the grocery store and if you buy one item of something, you better probably be buying at least a half a dozen of something to stock up on it. I probably have at least 50 pounds of flour in the freezer. I have a big tote that is stored full of different kinds of pastas. I have a big tote full of sugar. It's been quite a few years since I've canned, but that doesn't mean I can't do it. I probably just need to get some jars or whatever it takes, but a lot of people will say that they're not involved in farming. But if you eat, you are involved in farming, ranching, agriculture in general. People don't realize that.
That's a good way to put it.
Cindy, how many acres is your farm?
How many acres, Dad?
Oh boy, we changed so much. We added to the farm over the years.
I think it's around 1,000 or
Yeah,
900.
I honestly don't know because we added to it. We bought some land over the years, and Carroll now have done the same thing. So you had to survive. If you didn't go along with the line, you would just be pushed back to the side because you got so much expenses. So you have to have all this stuff in order to keep going to survive this thing.
So he's had to, add more and more land, and then you need more equipment. The price of they use John Deere tractors, a brand new John Deere tractor. Oh, 250,000.
Yeah, you're probably looking 300,000.
$300,000 for one tractor, and on this farm you probably have 4 or 5.
Well, we have three
big ones, and then some smaller ones, and then you've got the trucks that are really, so it's the
You have to use gas. You're fueling those machines.
Well, most of the trucks and stuff we have are diesel.
Yeah.
and that's even more expensive. So from last summer to this summer, I feel like it's almost double in price
Yes. Oh,
for
absolutely.
the fuel, right?
I think people aren't really realizing how crucial it is. Some people make statements, well, you guys get all these subsidies. No, we don't. You're paying dearly for them. Just like a pivot. Carroll now put some pivots in, and we just put one in. It is expensive.
So a pivot is an irrigation system. It's the newest, greatest irrigation system that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, correct?
It'll blow your mind.
So yeah, it's just enormous expense. And then physically, let's talk about that. You've had a couple surgeries.
Well, so is Larry. I've had a back surgery. I've had a knee replacement, and I've had 2 foot surgeries.
Wow.
Doing great.
But they have energy and they do love what they do. And I feel like they are the constantly giving back to the world.
And what about employees? Do you do it all yourself, or do you have any people working for you?
We have people helping. So Carroll now, most of the guys do because they've expanded And it's pretty work intensity, so you have to have some help. We got some help, and to get good help is another problem.
Yes.
Carol could attest to that.
Yes.
We're lucky we got a young guy that wanted to work for us, and he lives in our one house. And he's a fantastic mechanic. That's what he likes to do. He doesn't want to he didn't go to school, high school, just more than that. Then he was just glad that he was a neighbor. So then we had an extra house, and when this all went about, we let him move over there. And
So he's really learned the trade,
Mhm.
you know, on the job, which is great. It's a great way to learn. And we need more young people that want to do it, because I don't know if, I mean, these guys aren't going to be able to do this forever. So, yeah, that's a good question though. And during harvest time, you would hire more people, but
Mhm.
year round, they would, you know, get help. Like you have somebody full time that helps year round, but you guys do during harvest, get more people, because you can't do it alone. There's no way.
well, Carol now had trouble getting help in Terry, the small town.
Yeah.
Right.
And some of them aren't very good.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something about the water and bringing the water in from the river with
Yeah, so
pipes.
It's an irrigation farm from the Yellowstone River. They live,
Okay.
the Yellowstone River runs along this farm, but you still have to have huge pumps to pump the water in, and they have to pay for the water. It's not free. And then there's times where you've been rationed, right? And
Yes.
you can't, they aren't allowed to use the water they need, so their crops can dry up.
Well, this last year it was so dry, we couldn't hardly get enough water around that we could keep things wet. It really hurt our crops.
Yeah, we couldn't get enough water.
It just was, and you know, it's kind of a crazy thing.
And
People don't
you can't predict weather.
know.
Right.
So it's very unpredictable what you guys, every day is like, it's worse than the stock market. There's
Oh
no
my gosh.
control at all, right?
Yeah, well, you know, we got big pumps that we pump out of the river. And two of the pumps come from New York City's 1913. That was in the system in New York. And we ended up with two of them in our district.
And I'm going to do some little tours around the farm throughout the week. So we'll have more things that we can share, like live hands-on to show people.
Excellent. But I just wanted to applaud you both and thank you for your dedication and your hard work. And I know how physical it is. It's physical work, and you put your heart and soul into it. And a lot of times you don't get back the reward that you put in, and you get up and you continue and you're helping to feed the world. So thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Well, another thing I'd like to add is the fact that Al was in Vietnam
That's her husband.
That's my husband.
and I was in the Navy, but I didn't have anything that was going on. I was lucky, but I lost some cousins. It's pretty bad, and people don't realize it, but a lot of the guys in the military have come off of agriculture.
Mm.
They really do. Her husband went through hell, to be honest with you. He was
So
in Navy.
yeah, and a lot of, you know, what's happening, I think a point you're getting at is in Ukraine. We've got a big war going on, and it's heartbreaking. We don't need that. We need peace in the world, and we need people to get along and people to help each other and to feed the world and feed the hungry.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing your stories today. We appreciate you so much.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you. Thanks, Andrea. We'll have more to.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right.
But you know what? It's a good life. You can make a living at it.
It is.
It's peaceful. You
I
don't.
love that. It's a good life. You can make a living at it, and it's
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah.
We have some people that are retired people that really come and help us. And we're lucky. Carroll now, in a smaller town, they have a hard time getting good help. We got some retired farmers that like to come out. Well, you have too, driving truck. They're good guys. They know what to do. They don't,
We have a good harvest crew.
Yeah.
And they're all
Same with us.
except one, they're all in their 70s, and so we call us the Geritol crew. And they are really, really good people.
Well, I would say you're the experienced crew. The experienced, hardworking crew.
I love that.
Right. But
Okay.
this was really fun. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.